Now it is time for What's Hot. We talk about the stories that have us all talking.
And we're joined today by Klein from Boelter Lincoln, and Jeff Wagner is back. There are safety concerns involving thousands of people getting set for a pre-St. Patrick's Day pub crawl on North Avenue. People who live nearby also worried about having to clean up the mess after 2 deaths in 3 years during different Milwaukee pub crawls. The city is taking a serious look at how they can keep events fun but safe. So should St. Patrick's Day pub crawls be, let's say, better regulated?
Go for it, Jeff.
Well, well, I mean, the truth, you hear some of these horror stories, you know, these people that live on the east side that are talking about these things where you've got 5,000 people, and essentially the deal is see how drunk you can get and how much you can drink, and that's all fine. But what happens is the neighbors around there tell stories about people who are coming up to their houses or peeing on their side of their houses, and it's not something that you can have go on. Now look, I'm not a big government regulator, but the whole problem we had, remember back when we used to have what they called Greek Fest at the neighborhood around where the church is on the border of Wauwatosa and Milwaukee. Eventually, it just got so popular and the area got so out of control, they had to move it to State Fair Park. I hope that doesn't happen with this, but these bars that put these on, they're responsible for security to make sure that the people who are participating don't get out of control.
Yeah, unfortunately, the nature of this holiday is that everybody's going to get wasted. It's just what you do and how you celebrate. And whether you're in an organized group or not, you know, it's not necessarily going to stop somebody from drinking until they can't drink anymore, unfortunately. If you are going to be in an organized event, I would like to see some improved regulations, specifically, like you said, Jeff, with security. Maybe embed some, you know, undercover cops, do something to protect the people that, unfortunately, will inevitably lose control.
It sounds like they're moving that way a little bit with the St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. The neighbors have been working with event organizers and police. So, I mean, I guess we're going to have to wait and see how this year shapes up and see if these new conditions have helped.
Yeah, and see, and they wrestle with this issue all over. I mean, you had an ongoing thing out in Madison where they have the big Halloween celebration, and you know they've tried to figure out ways to deal with that and to try to limit the stuff. You don't want to limit people's fun, but at the same time, if you're a taxpayer in the city of Milwaukee, you don't want to have to put up with some of the stuff that goes on. Again, I think the starting point is for the bars that make money off of all this stuff. It starts with them having security to keep stuff under control, and then it goes to the cops, but it starts with the bars.
Yeah, lead the charge on this one.
It's a good first step. All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll leave it at that. Coming up next, Facebook changes its news feed. Is it a good or a bad way to attract new users? That's next. And Jeff Wagner from News Radio 620 WTMJ. Everybody's dancing here in the studio. Here's one from the interwebs. On Tuesday, a Reddit user uploaded a photo of a receipt for a pizza delivery that included 85 pies, totaling about $1,500, $1,463.93. You see it right there. It kicked off a fiery debate, prompting dozens of people to write comments like, "The delivery guy deserved more," and $10 is cheap. Others insisted no one could realistically expect to receive a 20% tip on such a large order. The question is, should you always be expected to tip 15 to 20% even on those huge orders? What do you guys think?
Well, I don't know about 15 to 20%, but they tip $10 on a $1,453
tab. A little more change.
Yeah, the guy had to go. The poor pizza guy had to go back. You know, there's so many pizza pies and make 2 deliveries. Now, would I say 20%? No, but okay, $1,453. I think I would have rounded it up to $1,600. I think at least 10%.
Right, and if you have enough to buy 85 pizzas and spend that much on pizza, then you have enough to tip. And this really punches me in the core of when I used to work in the food service industry, and I couldn't stand when you would go out of your way to make people happy and you just got shafted on the tip. So, you know, yes, he had to make some trips and he deserved more for sure, but
so you think like 50 bucks would be fair on this?
I would go 100. A flat $100.
Because what, about 300, 290 would be.
Well, I mean, there's some work involved. He's got to load up all the pizzas. He's got to unload them, and then the 2 trips. And
right. No, absolutely no. And see, I also think this is another interesting thing about the social media, that this gets publicized. Now, so far, they haven't identified who the pizza driver was or who the cheap you-know-what was that stiffed the guy. I'm waiting for that shoe to fall because, you know, you want to talk about embarrassing someone. Okay, you're the guy that tips $10. I mean, if you're going to tip $10, don't tip at all. You know, it's almost like it's an insult to give them $10.
People don't learn. This is going to continue to happen, and people are going to get angry and vocal about it.
I think what would steam me is if this was just a call-in that morning or something like that, if it wasn't planned out. So
Well,
Like you said, though, we don't know.
Doesn't matter.
We'll
No,
never
but you
single out this
will.
guy.
It's my prediction is
It'll-
you'll know
yeah.
at some point in
Oh,
time
yeah.
who
It'll
this
hear
break,
about
is.
it.
Sure. Yep.
All right, topic number 3. Hoping to attract and keep more users, Facebook has announced a facelift for its news feed. The redesign focuses more on photos than text, actually, and is an attempt to attract teenagers back to the site. But often these changes, yeah, they're met with a lot of outrage. Last time Facebook changed stuff, people were not happy.
They don't like it.
So what do you think? I mean, do they need a new layout? And I didn't realize that teenagers were leaving Facebook.
Well, Facebook has admitted that their engagement has dropped about 2% or so, and their goal is to not only increase engagement, but keep people within Facebook and the different apps longer. One of the things that they've recognized, and they've done this every year, they've made some pretty significant tweaks. First of all, you have to remember it's a free platform. If you don't like it, don't use it, period. And they don't care if you abandon. What they're focusing on this time, though, is the visuals. They recognize that images and video content are resonating and engaging people much more than any sort of text or sponsored news. So they're going to place an emphasis on those visuals, and then they're going to take the stuff that you normally find in your main feed and segment it for you based on a classification that they think you would understand. So all of your music in one place, all of your pictures in one place, all of your friends feed, and then everybody that you follow on Facebook all in one feed, with a hopes that you'll take more action. What this might burn is the marketers. We as marketers and advertisers and then brands need to identify how can we best brand our content for our end user. And that still has to, we still have to figure out how that's going to work. Facebook has been a little bit coy as to what this really means for marketers, especially with their algorithms that are so secret. So I would expect within the next couple of weeks or so, we're going to find out just how this impacts marketing and advertising.
See, I'm just proud of myself because 18 months ago I would have said, what is this Facebook thing of which we speak? Now I've got a few thousand followers on my Facebook thing. So
Well, you're not following me, Jeff. I don't know how this
He's
works.
all caught up now.
So
Right.
Jeff doesn't care what Facebook does. He's
No.
just happy to be on and
I'm just
knowing how
happy
to
to know
use
what
the
it is.
thing.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of you, Jeff.
And I post stuff and people like it. How about that? It's a great
outstanding.
country.
We'll make an internet savvy person out of you yet, Jeff.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, thanks, guys. Happy Friday. We're going to
Happy
take a quick
Friday.
break. We'll be right back.